two teams. Can YANGON Galacticos rise above expectations and prove their own identity of themselves as strong contenders alongside the Sky Kings of Indonesia and ONIC Philippines? It's the best of one between these two. ONIC Indonesia. Excuse me.
Wrong one.
I'm very used to saying ONIC PH. That happens a lot. ONIC Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Here we go, folks. Welcome to the land of Dawn for a best of one between YG, one of the most feared best of one teams in the tournament, against one of the favorites, ONIC. Looking at the emblem straight up, it's actually a concussive blast choice for Lutpi. Now that's already different from the usual that we see from Sora. He's going to be looking for Prio for the most part here to rotate and help the team. And maybe it's also because he's up against the Valentina that he just wants to have more tempo over brawling it out against the Valen.
Interesting like there, right? So Tank Emblem, Concussive Blast, Festival of Blood, Rook's got the Rupture. And, you know, it's not a matchup that you see too often, at least currently. And I feel like even Sora as a hero, you know, teams have still been trying to figure out the best way to utilize this hero. Yes, there's a whole lot of crowd control that you do get with it, but again, well, usually when I've seen it, I've been like, man, it's a whole lot of show and fireworks, but you need that follow-up potential with that Sora on your lineup. So, interestingly enough, that this will be the case, and I think even with this lineup, you just wait for that turtle to break out just because they don't really have the setup potential.
So one little ranged minion missed out there by Lina. Good freeze.
Ooh, really good taunt. It's that, just that though for now. Yeah. It's YANGON Galacticos getting pressure on the map, but you gotta remember Lutpi earlier got the XP grab, so they are really setting up for a Lutpi level 4 into a fight before Ying gets to rotate.
I like the slower approach ONIC ID are taking to handling the middle, making sure that they could stop Lina from hitting level 4.
There you go. Level 4 advantage for ONIC on Lutpi, but Ying is going to be falling through.
Turtle's up, half health. Steve's going to be dropped down too. Ying's going to jump in. Kyrie will secure the turtle. Still going to break out here. A whole lot of damage around the pit still, but with a revitalized, Ying's going to go down at first blood. Lina gets a kill though. A trade the 1-for-1 turtle to ONIC.
Might have been a little bit too aggressive there for YANGON Galacticos up against a killing spree on that Leomord. It had revitalized as well. Great retry win by Kyrie.
Yeah, and again, it was all set up by the tempo for ONIC. The reason they went Concussive Blast, right? Early on, Lutpi, a really good read to freeze up the lane, to get that prio, get a rotation in, and secure XP grab. After that, it was about clearing the wave quicker, getting level 4, and instantly rotating to a very fast turtle take. And that's what really stopped YANGON Galacticos from being able to retaliate. Remember, they want to react, but if they're not given the opportunity to react, it gets really tough for this comp.
So I expect YANGON Galacticos is going to be a little bit more proactive with making sure that their nearby side lanes are ready once the turtle is up. But then at the same time, you can only do so much when your opponents are just doing an even better job of controlling, such as this. San's not afraid to use Feathered Airstrike to stop or delay the return of Stitch to the bottom lane, while also applying pressure by taking his health down.
Comes Han and the rest of the team. Steve dropped down. Blink could be in trouble. Relies on the Glorious Pathway to exit on out. And that's what I'm wondering too. You know, we talked about with the Valentina being overloaded with options here. I'm wondering what exactly Ying's going to do because of the ultimates that he can take. I mean, even in a sense, like, he could go with a Feathered Airstrike in some of these objective fights. It could even be continuous, the Sora take, deciding what are we seeing more of? Like the Torrent? Is that, there's the Torrent and it's the other ultimate.
Yeah.
Sora, the lightning one. Okay.
Yeah.
Han's got the damage, though, on this Fanny, and again, this is why we see this Fanny pop up now for, what is it, the 3rd time?
Yeah. YANGON Galacticos just have 0 map presence right now. It's all ONIC ID, setting the tempo. Keyboard might get punished.
Oh, that duality. It's going to bring Keyboard back in. I don't think he's escaping this. He does have
no.
He does. He's got the Avatar of the Guardian. He is fine.
No Revitalize, though. That is a very expensive resource to burn out before Turtle 2.
Okay. Turtle's up. They might just have to give this up. I'm not sure if Kyrie wants to give the go on this. It looks like they're going to go for Blink anyway, dragging them back. Glorious Pathway drop down. A Feathered Airstrike to cut them off too as Keyboy falls. Han gets the turtle. Fight still going. Kyrie could be in trouble, and Han finds an opening. Will take a kill. Kyrie falls as well. YANGON Galacticos gets a whole lot.
What an amazing shift in tempo by YANGON Galacticos. They saw what ONIC did Turtle 1. They adapted to it. They know it was all about speed. Who got there first? Again, I'd say a little bit of a misplay there for Keyboy to not use the AOG instantly and to wait, because the Revitalized burn is so expensive. We saw how they won Turtle 1 fight. It was actually with the Revitalized. So the fact that the Revitalized wasn't there and Keyboy didn't have AOG, there was no way, aside from, again, brute forcing their way into Turtle with the horse and with Lutpi. And it didn't really pay off for them because it was only on Blink.
Calculated for YANGON Galacticos, reading the situation very well heading into that Turtle 2. Now, 5 minutes into the game, still could be anyone's ball game, but compared to what we saw in the previous matchup between SRG and TS, I like how once the sequence and the major objective is done, once they're done at the center of the map, they're putting a lot of value onto helping out Stitch. They're making sure their gold laner is getting farm, is comfortable, and it's not just the Skylar solo show that ONIC was able to do for majority of the time they've had with Skylar, because teams who just let Skylar do his thing in lane, you're not going to have a great result for your own gold laner. You got to make sure your gold laner is able to win against Skylar. So far, YANGON, I appreciate how they've been playing things.
Yeah, they. This is kind of what we are used to seeing, you know? We saw them play like this. It's a great start for them, and at the same time, you know, Stitch basically needs to go ahead and continue to farm up like we just saw Innocent do in the last match. You know, get that timing, scale up, and get that Trinity as quickly as possible, because eventually I feel like, you know, these objective fights later on when we're concerned with the Lord could be a little bit different, but so far, you know, we did see ONIC also play from the back foot, like play from that deficit against their match. Yes,
Clean, anything to bait out. Like maybe
really have to remember the importance of OE out.
for ONIC, Sun's gonna get enough room to dish out damage. Meanwhile, for YANGON Galacticos, it's such a well-crafted composition where all of them want to dive in. All of them want to go in together. It's not split up.
I think part of this too, like when we've been seeing the way that the rotating has gone, though, you know, I know we mentioned YANGON Galacticos, especially with this Luoyi playing around the map. Like, how do they make that happen without being too overzealous or overstepping? And, you know, we saw a little glimpse of this yesterday with the Luoyi in the hands of TL. And that macro presence that you can have eventually is going to be something that ONIC ID wants to watch out for. But so far, it's all been the objectives, you know, and focusing on that. And with this little bit of a lead that's built up now, YANGON Galacticos will continue on.
Yep. See there, defensive items built up for the Valentina. Gets the Black Ice on the way to Dami, but he might be going for the Oracle just first. Get the cooldown reduction locked in, knowing that he is going to be cosplaying Sora for majority of this game. See, even in the mid control, great patience by these two. As Lutpi sees Ying, and now Ying will be able to help Han get closer to the turtle.
There's a rush on Lightning Truncheon, by the way, for Suns as well, so not a lot of utility and not a lot to deal with the healing coming down from YANGON Galacticos. So Revitalize going to be big.
Chastised on Lutpi already.
Yeah. Oracle picked up here for Ying, so a little bit of difference in the items and the build paths they're going for. The last turtle of the game, there we go. There's the crowd control, gonna bring him back, but Han jumps into the backside. Blink's quite low too, Han forced out. But now Lutpi could be in trouble. He re-engages to crash on in. Flickers defensively to get out of there. But YANGON Galacticos is just sustaining through the fight. They'll pick up a kill. Blink's gonna be the trade. But that last turtle goes over to YG.
And it's through controlling the waves that YANGON Galacticos, despite losing out on the turtle, still hold on to the lead. Diversion into bottom lane. And again, it's tempo, it's speed. How do they capitalize on objectives? How do they capitalize on winning these fights? It's instant capitalization.
Gotta appreciate what Ying is doing on this Valentina. It's not a Valentina damage dealer cosplaying as a Sora. It is a Valentina Sora frontliner. It is an EXP laner to its truest form. Instead of going for what is expected to be a glass cannon, nope, it's another frontliner dishing out crowd control and being a nuisance for ONIC ID.
And that really opens things up. Look at this again. Ying jumps in. What a great carry through as Sands is gone. Ying finally goes down, but here comes Han. They're able to pop up enough damage. Stitch going a little bit too far, and now Han in trouble too. He's got to get back as Kyrie leads the charge. A huge jump from Keyboy, a diversion to get on out. And they disengage. It's a 2 for 2.
Right now, it's still all good for YANGON Galacticos. They did not lose any bounties there. And in terms of conversions, they got Sans and Skylar. They got the 2 carries. And again, for ONIC ID, the way they appeal for their backline is through going in, is through being so much of a threat that their backliners get to free hit. You can definitely see that it's not happening right now. YG don't care if ONIC walk up like that with the Phantom Steed, with Sora. Doesn't really matter for now.
Appreciate that YANGON Galacticos actually got to minimize their losses there. Could have been a more devastating loss. They're still okay, 2,000 difference. A rush with the Malefic Roar actually for Han in the Fanny. Was Hunter Strike and the War Axe for the Leomord.
You can definitely see the difference as well. YANGON Galacticos for Lina, instant glowing wand, right? You want to have that against a Revitalize. And ONIC, they went for Lightning Truncheon, they went for a little bit more burst. They thought they were going to be able to actually shred through some of these tanky boys, but now they're in desperate need of anti-regen. And I don't think anyone's building it up right now. Okay, Keyboy finally got it, Dominance Ice, so there you go. That's finally something that they can use to deal with Revitalize. Because you mentioned, I saw YG were just sustaining through it all.
Yeah.
Yes, no one was there to put the anti-regen down.
Now they got it. So this is going to be the face-off for this Lord. I don't think either team really wants to commit to it just yet. We've seen those force engages happen here before the objectives break out. And a lot of the times it might be up to Luffy to decide to do that. Now YANGON Galacticos, like we've mentioned, you know, they've just kind of been playing to their strengths here. Having a Fanny B going around, there's Luffy again. Whoa, and they get the Feathered Airstrike down too. Oh. That's actually a big ultimate down they could use here.
But it's both. Ying as well got baited out to use the ultimate, so you can steal it back away later, but he's gonna have to wait for a bit. YANGON on Lord. Up top, I don't know how that wave is building up. It looks even.
Where's Pathway drop down? Sans wing by wings on out. Lord sitting at half health right now. Steeds are going to be used too, but it's just a fight for an objective space right now. Both teams dancing back and forth. There's the initiation from Luffy. They're going to go for it here. They get the duality proc. Han jumping in the backside, trying to force out Kyrie, but Han's in trouble as Luffy picks up the kill. But they're still going for it. Keyboy falls. Skylar could be next. He's trying to get away, but Ying gets a double. The 2-for-1 trade.
No jungler for YANGON Galacticos. ONIC ID still has 3 members. Both will reset and will revisit the Lord later on. Sans decides to go for the Queen's Wings as his second item. I was wondering actually what he was going to build into, if he's going to force himself to build damage just to match the output, or he'll build for a little bit more sustain. The answer is that. YANGON now starts it off slowly with Stitch as Han will be able to come back.
Blink's going to go for the stun off Luffy. Luffy in trouble, getting caught out, unfortunately. And with Luffy gone, numbers advantage right now for YG. Still plenty of ultimates available. No glorious pathway though, so still ONIC wants to go ahead and face off. Can they zone out enough? Kyrie trying to find the angle. Ying taking a couple shots by the Feathered Airstrike, and Han will secure the Lord. Fight's gonna break out. A defensive AOG. Keyboy trying to get away, but Ying again comes in clutch to pick up another kill.
And again, that's the advantage and the disadvantage of going Concussive Blast over Brave Smite. If you go for the Brave Smite, you would have a little bit more sustain there, but because it was concussive and because it was kind of reliant on the early game, getting tempo, YANGON now have that sustain lead on everyone. With the Revitalize, Han, Stitch, they're good. Lina and Ying, they got Brave Smite, so they can constantly just heal back up.
The Young Guns, the Galacticos, they're taking it to the Sky Kings. ONIC ID, now I realize exactly just why the Indonesian crew members I got to talk to were hesitant to celebrate that they were gonna go up against YG. They're so good, the patience, the front to back, they check the conditions before they go for the full engage. Lippy quickly got punished. That's the level of team that YG is.
On again, gonna start it up, Keyboy. Caught in the midst of it all, but he's gonna be fine. It does get brought to half health. But this is all with the Lord. They've got plenty of ultimates to march in with this. They want to go ahead and take down these shields. They get the waves up marching in together. Charge in from the Lord. Tier 2 falls. There's an engage. Luffy just trying to delay them a little bit further. An AOG as well from Keyboy. Meanwhile on the top, Han's going to push that top side. Lord finally goes down. They hold on to the base turret. Han, is he going to be able to get away? He cables on out. Kyrie trying to do everything to keep that base turret up. then ONIC will hold on to the base.
Yeah, they're able to defend right now, but again, it is such a big, big win for YANGON Galacticos. Now they have all the tempo in the world. They have the positions on the jungle as well. They can actually explode this gold lead as long as they keep on freezing the lanes, try to suffocate ONIC inside of their own base. Stitch.
Again, initiation, and now Kyrie in trouble. Lina picks up a kill, lines them all up. Ying jumps into the backside, and YANGON Galacticos will take everything they went for. Han looking to clean up a kill. Lutby falls as well. Sans and Skylar, they just have to watch as everybody falls.
This could be an endable angle. 20 seconds on Kai.
YANGON Galacticos going for the win against ONIC Indonesia. They said they were #1.
Yes.
And can they defeat their opponents here? The base gonna be worked on. They try, Skylar does everything, and YANGON Galacticos will beat them in a best-of-1.
They declared themselves top 2 against ONIC Indonesia. We are 2 of the best. But today, on this day, YANGON Galacticos is better than ONIC ID.